So you were on Shark Tank season 2
Season 2.
and
That's
अब
correct.
season 4 के applications
Start हो गए हैं.
start हो गए. So what is the secret to get on Shark Tank?
I don't think so there's any secret, and like a lot of people have asked me this question, okay, what is the secret? Did you use any back channel or any influential source
Yeah, वो तो नहीं होता, हाँ.
to get there, right? We applied the basic way, the normal way, probably the way thousands of other companies would apply.
Yeah.
I think what my understanding today is about Shark Tank, you have to have a business idea or a business that a large part of India can resonate with, right? That is one. Second, if you have something unique from a storytelling perspective, that works, because at the end of the day,
It's an entertainment show.
It's an entertainment show. They want viewers. They want viewership, right?
They want interesting people.
They want interesting people, right? So I think having a product or a solution that a large India can resonate with, because people from all walks of life are watching the show. And second is, having an interesting proposition works. Third, most of the cases that I know of, if the company has a bit of traction, that also works, because that shows validation. That does not mean कि pre-revenue companies नहीं आती, pre-revenue companies भी आती है. But having an interesting proposition with some traction gives that validation कि हाँ, मतलब कुछ hands and legs है इसके. But at the end of the day, even if you get to the Shark Tank, and you would be privy to that because you're invested in so many Shark Tank companies, that not every pitch gets aired, right?
Correct.
So that's a 2/3 proportion, right? Out of 100 brands pitching to the Sharks, only about 60-65
end up
are aired on TV, right? So उसका भी क्या selection criteria, there's no science.
Correct. I think how your episode goes, like what type of conversation, how interesting it is for the viewers, right? I think my dad says this very interesting thing: if you play a game, you play it by the rules, right? So I think it's an entertainment show eventually. So if your episode is entertaining, it's fun for the viewers to look at, and the Shark Tank team would look at their own criteria, then they would air it.
And
otherwise,
and second thing, what matters during the application process, they are also trying to gauge how good or how comfortable are you going to be on the camera. Right? Because they have mock auditions, right? So they are sort of evaluating that, is the entrepreneur comfortable speaking, is confident enough, because when you go into the tank, when you walk into the tank, there are so many cameras, right?
So
overwhelming ho jata hai. People start, stammering, or they're not able to speak confidently. So they're also evaluating that, right?
I think I've spoken to so many Shark Tank founders, और वो बोलते हैं कि what gets you into Shark Tank, apart from your business, is your personality, how fun you are, how relatable you are, how confident you are in front of the camera. What gets you funded on Shark Tank is your business, because जब तुम अंदर tank में होते हो, that's like a 1.5-2 hour conversation with the sharks, and then they are asking you questions about your personal journey, but then they're also asking questions जो एक हर investor एक पूछता है, कितना बड़ा business बन सकता है, कितना growth है, like whatever your business metrics are. So I think you have to be conscious of both those things, like something gets into Shark Tank, something gets you funded, and then something gets you aired. And I think you have to be conscious of all three.
No, absolutely, 100% agree.
And what was your growth rate, like growth after Shark Tank, like किस quantum पे गए थे, and what is the kind of growth you saw?
So we went almost like 2.5-3x in terms of the spike.
Okay, immediately after airing.
Immediately after airing, but I'm looking at in a month's time period, right? I'm not looking at, because same day growth to 10x 12x हुई होगी, right? Then it's a diminishing return होता है. So you have to look at in a 30-day time period कि eventually business कितना grow हुआ, because organic sessions will drop, right? But we grew about 2.5-3x from our in a month's time in terms of scale, right? Then the large part or the bigger question comes as that you have to sustain that growth, right? Because it is very painful, right? You get that, you get that spike, you get that growth touching that ceiling, right? And then it takes everything in your power to sustain that, and it's not easy, right? Like, I'm so grateful and thankful to each and everyone who works with us at Perfora, is part of the team, has done more and beyond, and whatever it takes to sustain that growth and even grow beyond that, right? In such a short span of time, because it's only been literally, we went on Shark Tank, our episode aired on 16th of Feb 2023. So it's been about it's a year, 15 odd months, right? Even in that time zone, they've managed to grow the business almost 2x after the spike.
My God.
Right? So yeah, I think that it takes next level of execution, planning, thick skin to put in those hours and take that pressure, because like after Shark Tank aired, Shark Tank was a good high for us, right? But like probably a lot of people don't know or they don't remember, but probably 30 days into our Shark Tank episode airing, we got viral for not so good reasons, right? Because of the so we try and create a lot of content, BTS. So we covered our warehousing facility where we showed people are working throughout because there's so much volume of orders, and we were running, the backlog was massive, right? Like thousands of every day orders would coming, and we were not able to ship out, right? So we recorded one of the persons who was in the facility packing orders, shipping orders, and he sort of exaggerated, but he was like trying to put out that it's been insane, right? And he said he hasn't slept in 30 days, right?
My God.
And like someone posted that Perfora is a company that's not thinking about humans, they're making people work as slaves, this is not the right employment culture, etc., etc. And then like pretty much every news publication in the country picked up that news, and it became like a big pain for us, because this was being published in print, this was being published digitally, people were sending us hate messages, like you see that high and then you see this low, right? So very different kind of emotions as a founder I went through, what to do, what not to do, what to say, because anything that I would say or anything that we would say from the team could be perceived in any light, right? So yeah, I think it was interesting. And then eventually, like this happened, like February this happened, March end this entire news thing went viral, controversy went viral. Then April we did a show, a spoken word show, where one of the videos went viral, which was so loved. I think it has about 30-40 million organic views.
I think 100 बार देखी है.
So I think that video, that poetry went viral, right? Which was by our brand Muskurao. So I think like in a span of 3 odd months, different kinds of emotions, right?
Yeah. Last question on the Shark Tank journey, which I wanted to ask you is, like your existing investors, Vineeta, Namita, Peyush as well. How helpful are sharks post? Because a lot of founders have this question: ki help karte hain, can we meet them? Do you call them on a regular basis? Like, do you have regular meetings or catch-ups with them? Like, how helpful are these investors?
So in our experience, whenever we've reached out to Namita or Vineeta, they've been very responsive. Peyush didn't end up investing in the brand because of some reasons, but Vineeta and Namita did. So they've been very responsive, very helpful. But the reality with us is that since we also have other institutional investors on our cap table that we engage with, and they're very large shareholders, relatively much larger shareholders in the company, we engage with them more often because they have more skin in the game, they have a more upside, and they also do this professionally day in and day out, right? Whereas Vineeta and Namita, they're angels and they also have their own business to run, right? So we don't really have regular catch-ups with them, but like I'll tell you, if I'm in Bombay and Sugar's office is with Zepto's office in Bombay, right? So if I'm in Zepto's office doing some work, meeting my category guy there, I would sort of message Vineeta, and if she's in town and if she's in the office, she will take the time to meet me at least for 10 minutes if I want to, right? That's been the case with Namita as well. If I'm in Pune and she's in town, because she travels a lot, right? She's constantly traveling. She'll take the time to meet me for a coffee, for a quick catch up. And there have been multiple cases or instances where I had to speak with Namita or Vineeta, and I've just picked up the phone and called them. Highly likely they've not answered, but they've also called back in the next 3-4 hours whenever they've seen the missed call, and they've had the time to respond back. So they've been very helpful. They've been very understanding. They've been very supportive. We've not seeked much of their help.
But whenever you have.
But whenever we have.